Hello, good afternoon everyone. So welcome to our lecture this afternoon, which is all about trematodes. No? So medyo matagal yung pag-record nito because this is actually a very long lecture and I really needed some time to record this so that medyo matagal-tagal yung discussion natin. Okay? So just give me 35 to 45 minutes of your time. So we will be discussing about trematodes. So pag sinabi nating trematodes, this is still under Platyhelminthes, no? And you are talking about same with cestodes, which is dorso-ventrally flattened. That is why it is still under what we call flatworms. Okay, so they are still flat, no? But the difference between a cestode and a trematode is that the cestode has its segments, ito naman it's unsegmented. It is also leaf-like and it is hermaphroditic, ibig sabihin meron siyang both male and female characteristics on its body. However, may exception dyan, that would be your schistosomes or schistosoma, no, na species, which is your blood flukes. Yan lang yung exception, no? And you are going to learn later on na sila yung may pinaka-unique na kind of sexes because when they usually do copulate, wala nang atrasan at wala nang parang sila na forever. Okay? And if you are going to get your book, no, titingnan nyo yung libro ninyo and you are going to identify that your book's cover by Belisario is actually a schistosoma. No, so you are going to see a male and female schistosoma in copula. Ibig sabihin they are having sex. Okay? So they does not have or they have incomplete digestive tract. Meron silang bunganga, no, pero hindi ganun kakompleto. And also adults are covered with spines. And I want you to identify which among these trematodes is an exception, no, of the rule, which adults are covered with spines except yung certain species. So I am going to start with the blood flukes because among the different flukes, this is the most common and this is very rampant not only in the Philippines but also in the entirety of Mindanao. There are some areas na meron talagang cases ng schistosoma, and just for you to know, Tulunan has a lot of cases of schistosoma and blanc. So that's why it's relevant because dito sa atin, meron ding mga cases ng schistosoma. Okay? So ang blood flukes, they are dioecious, or how do you pronounce that one? So the males are eventually shorter than the females, If you are going to look at your book, mas maliit yung lalaki kesa sa babae. That is familiar because yung mga ano natin, yung mga helminths natin, yung mga nematodes, maliliit din yung lalaki compared sa babae. And remember, they have a sucker, they have suckers, and they have no muscular pharynx. And always remember that the eggs are non-operculated. This is in comparison with your cestode, na yung ano natin, yung broadfish tapeworm, that is unique because that one is an operculation, So you need to remember and you need to read your book so that you would understand, kasi sa libro ninyo may mga pictures doon, especially this, the cercaria, kung anong mukha ng bifid tails, And remember that the infective stage of this specific organism, this is one of the exception, is the cercaria, which among the trematodes, yung mga infective stage sa kanila is the metacercaria. Ito naman is the cercaria. Okay? So you are going to encounter 3 different blood flukes that includes the Japonicum, the Hematobium, and the Mansoni. Yung other names nila, pag sinabi mong Japonicum, you are talking about the Oriental blood fluke. Pag sinabi mo namang hematobium, you are talking about the vesical blood fluke. Pag sinabi mo namang Schistosoma mansoni, you are talking about the Manson's blood fluke, no? Very easy to remember. So, the life cycle, always remember when you are talking about Schistosoma, no, or the Schistosoma species, you need to remember that there are isa sa mga unique. Bakit? No? They have tails, okay? And it has a bifid tail, no, which is a little bit magmukha, parang magkamukha pero iba yung mukha compared to the other one. And remember that the human being, no, kailangan itae siya muna ng human being, tapos yung itlog ng schistosoma, no, ng itlog ng schistosoma, eventually it will mature in the pond or sa mga sa kung saan man, no, saan man tumae yung isang tao, and eventually lalabas na dyan, no, magmamature at lalabas na dyan yung tinatawag nating, no, the larva or the Miracidia. Yung Miracidia na yan yung mag-i-infect sa snails mo, no? As if you are going to look at this picture, it will infect your snail, and yung snails na yan yung eventually mamaturan ng Miracidia for it to become the Cercaria. The Cercaria will eventually swim outside that snail, and kato siya ang mag-infect sa imuhang human body. Dok, paunsa makuha sa tao ang Schistosoma na Cercaria? Mo penetrate sa panit sa tao. Okay? Mo penetrate siya sa panit sa tao, asa man dok? Sa ilong, sa tiil, sa kamot, depende if unsa ang pag-timing sa imuhang lawas nga nag-swimming pud pasulod ang Cercaria. Okay? So this is very memorable to me, no? Because I was really amazed, and it was very helpful for me as someone who is teaching parasitology, because I have a case recently that the patient is having schistosoma, no, inside the brain, no? And that was very amazing because the schistosomiasis, the neuroschistosomiasis is already no, penetrating or infiltrating the brain, no? And remember that if meron kang schistosoma sa loob ng utak mo, eventually that will cause the patient to what? To have stroke. Tapos eventually anong yung nagkukos ng stroke? Anong magiging resulta kapag na-stroke na yung pasyente? They could manifest as seizure. So yung pasyente, nagkakaroon siya ng mga seizure episodes. So yung seizure episodes niya, that's secondary to stroke, and the stroke is secondary to neuroschistosoma infection. Okay? So this is the Miracidium, and remember that the Miracidium hatches from the egg, and usually in environments that is slightly alkaline, no? And remember, no, dili sila sa ugaw, dili sila sa mga kanal-kanal, no? They usually hatch in an environment which is a clean water, and the temperature usually 25 degrees to 31 degrees Celsius. Okay? So they infect the snails. Kapag tatanungin ka, sino nag-i-infect sa snails mo, it's the Miracidium. So yung Schistosoma, sporocyst and Cercaria, eventually, no, the Cercaria, that will be the one coming from the sporocyst, and that will be the one responsible infecting, okay? That will be the one responsible for infecting the human being. Kaya tatanungin ka, what is the infective stage of your schistosoma to human? That is your Cercaria. Hindi metacercaria, the Cercaria. Okay? So this is the Cercaria. This emerges from your daughter's sporocyst, and ito yung lumalabas sa snail, no? Nakadepende if unsa nga snail, if Japonicum siya na ay specific nga snail, if Mansoni or Hematobium na ay mga klase-klase nga snail. Okay? So it infects the man by skin penetration. Okay? So usually, ang reason natin bakit nagkakaroon ng infection ng tao is because of skin penetration. Okay? So yung mule mo naman, the mule, no, it develops from the cercaria after skin penetration. So after pumasok ng cercaria mo to your body, eventually it will develop as cystosomule, no? And usually it adapts because it grows in our body temperature, which is 37 degrees. So sometimes it enters the pleural cavity or the diaphragm, etc., etc., until it will reach its important space, which is your hepatic portions of your portal vein. Saan siya pumupunta? Sa hepatic portion ng portal vein. Okay? So, Cystosoma japonicum, also known as your oriental blood fluke, no, usually involves different areas, no, stages, and remember, the same lang, no, the egg, the merisidium, etc., etc., no, ang iba-iba lang, no, if you are going to study cystosoma, dalawa lang naman yung pinaka-importante dyan. Ano yung mga snail na involved? Tatlo pala. Ano yung mukha ng mga itlog nila? Okay? And what are their common names? Okay? So dapat yung tatlong yan master na master mo. Ano yung pangalan niya na iba? Ano yung itlog na mukha ng itlog niya? Okay? So at ano yung snail na involved sa kanya? Okay? So Cystosoma japonicum, no, primarily parasite of the portal vein and its branches. Okay, remember marami siyang itlog, no? It would reach 500 to 2,000 immature eggs per day. And usually yung eggs na ito nag-escape through ulceration in the intestinal lumen and are passed out with the feces. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, no, if meron man tayong dapat aralin or dapat matutunan sa ganitong parasite, it's fidelity and everlasting love. Char. Now, bakit, Doc? Because if they are going to have sex, the male and the female cystosoma, all they have to do until they are going to die is having sex, and they don't find another mate. Okay, hindi na sila naghahanap ng iba pang boyfriend or girlfriend or asawa, kasi kapag in sex na sila, hindi na sila matatanggal sa isa't isa. So, ang gagawin na lang nila is that they are going to have sex forever. That's why nilagay ni Dr. Belisario yan sa harap ng libro ninyo, so that you would appreciate that love should be everlasting and love should be kamu na bala mo sugpunan. Okay? No? So remember, there is a gynecophoric canal that can be found in your female na cystosoma, and that is the one na papasukan ng male ninyo. Okay? Naa siya'y buslot, no? So kanang gamay nga picture, if makita ninyo, kanang gamay nga picture, that is actually your male, no? Kanang dako mo na siya ang female, ang musulod kay ang male sa buslot. Okay? Ginagawa lang naman ng mga lalaki yan, no? Pumapasok sa buslot. That's typical. Okay? So how do you remember the cystosoma ova? Meron kang lateral knob. Okay? Hindi siya lateral spine, hindi din siya terminal spine. It's the lateral knob. Okay? So, pare-pareho ang mukha ng cystosoma mo na itlog, pero mas madali mo silang ma-identify kung ano yung mga spines or knob na present sa kanila. Again, sulat mo to, itatak mo sa kokote mo until mag-board exam ka. Kapag lateral knob, that is Cystosoma japonicum. Kapag naman lateral spine, you're talking about Cystosoma mansoni, large lateral spine. Kasi sometimes, yung lateral spine, small lateral spine, that will be your Cystosoma japonicum. Kapag naman, terminal spine, wala ka nang dapat isipin pa, that is automatically your Cystosoma hematobium. Okay? So again, as you would appreciate, that is the female, no, inside the gynecophoric canal of the male. Okay? So Mansoni male, no, and female, no, the female inside, wala yan, no? Wala yan. Okay, that's the terminal or the lateral spine sa Mansoni. Okay, this one is the adult. Okay, yan naman is the terminal spine of the hematobium ova. Okay, and I want you to master this summary because this is very important. No, kung may lalabas man sa exam, that would be you are going to differentiate the different eggs, the different names, and the different intermediate host of your cystosoma. So again, it would manifest as cystosomiasis. Usually it would be reaction to eggs. It could also present as pneumonitis due to the cystosomula in the lungs. And again, one of the rarest, but I have seen this personally in my life, the cerebral cystosomiasis. Okay? So, how would you identify individuals with problems with cystosoma? Sometimes nagkakaroon na sila ng ascites kasi lumalaki na yung tiyan nila because of liver damage. Okay? Baka lalabas sa exam, they might manifest with ascites. So the eggs may not be demonstrable in the feces, no? Infections where there are scarring prevents passage of eggs in the intestinal lumen. Okay, so how do we identify this? The doctors usually request Cato-Cat's technique. Sometimes naman yung nire-request natin would be yung concentration technique, no? Yung Mertiolet, no? Pero yung ginagawa talaga natin is the Cato-Cat's. So what we usually do is request Cato-Cat's. So ang gagawin natin eventually is we are going to perform the Cato-Cat's technique. Okay? So pasensya lang kayo because kapag nagsischedule tayo ng mga laboratory activities, hindi natutuloy kasi kapag bumabagyo, no? Or kapag naman may mga activities na biglaan, no, rest assured that you can learn that one, not really needed, na kailangan natin na babalik-balikin talaga, no? What we usually do is we just have to perform it one time, then eventually malilearn nyo na yan siya when you go to your internship. Okay? Pero tuturuan naman kayo, no? Don't worry. Ang importante, papasa kayo sa mga exams kasi the lecture is 60%, laboratory is 40%. Okay? Immunodiagnosis, no? Sometimes nagpe-perform din tayo ng diagnosis in a form of intradermal test for immediate cutaneous hypersensitivity reactions. Okay, what would be the treatment? The treatment, remember, is praziquantel. Okay, lahat ng trematodes, no? If may wala ka nang maisip na sagot, lahat ng sagot dyan would be trematodes. Treatment is praziquantel. Okay, again, it's praziquantel. Okay, so the blood flux, no, 24 endemic provinces, no, that you may imagine, no, all provinces in Mindanao except Misamis Oriental. Okay, so now let's talk about the lung flux. Hopefully you are still here, no, nakikinig pa rin kayo because you need to really learn about this because lumalabas to siya sa board exams, no, both in medicine and in medical technology board examinations. So kapag sinasabi naman nating lung flux, you are talking about the Paragonimus westermanni. No, this is the oriental lung fluke. Isa lang ang parasite na nag-i-infect sa baga mo at siya ang tinatawag na oriental lung fluke. That is your Paragonimus westermanni. Okay? Yung sa pusa naman, it's Paragonimus siamensis, or siamensis. Pero wala tayong pakialam dyan kasi tao tayo. Okay? So, it's Paragonimus westermani or Paragonimus philippinensis. Pero yung tatanggapin natin sa exam would be the westermani. Okay? So, this one is, again, very typical yung mukha ng westermani. No, I want you to search on the different pictures of an adult oriental long fluke kasi very typical yung mukha niya, parang meron siyang mga tawag nito, meron siyang mga banderitas sa gilid. Kung naa kayo makita nga banderitas sa gilid, that is actually the long fluke. Paragonimus westermani ova, no, please appreciate the picture, no, especially this. Okay, that's his that's the parang ano niya, taas. Okay, the operculation. And remember na meron din siyang posterior, no, yung sa likod niya, yung terminal niya ito, para merong maliit na knob dyan. Okay, so sometimes, no, seen in the sputum to or feces if the sputum is swallowed, or di ba? So for example, ang plema nato, di ba? Sometimes kabalo ko ang ginabuhat ninyo. Ang plema dapat ginaluad. Pero unsa ginabuhat sa uban? Ginatulon eventually asa mo adto ang itlog sa bitok sa may tae. Okay, mao nang naabot siya sa tae. Okay? So again, kailangan mo ng intermediate host, and the intermediate host na first would be your Brocha aspirata, or that's the snail, no, responsible. And remember of its uniqueness, meron siyang develops into one sporocyst, eventually dalawang radial stages of development. Okay? So the second intermediate host, that's the Sunda del Pusa Filipina. If nakay picture diha, kabalo ko nanay picture diha sa imuhang libro, you need to memorize it in Belisario. Unsay nawang ana, black and white na siya diha, no? That is the second intermediate host of your long fluke. Okay? So Paragonimus westermani, no? The man gets infected after ingestion of raw, insufficiently cooked crabs. Imagine, no? Favorite nimo ang crabs kay dili na kamukaon og pork, no? O beef kay mabitok lagi ka. Nya unsa may naitabo, no? Unsa may naitabo? Eventually na-infect gyapon ka kay nikaon kag crabs. Okay? So sometimes, no, paswerte-swerte na lang gyud kung mabitok gyud ka na gyud. No? So next, no, Paragonimiasis, usually it presents with cough, hemoptysis, and sometimes kaning gyud ang nagahitabo. It is usually seen as a case of pulmonary tuberculosis. Okay? Tapos pagpapasa nimo og plema sa pasyente, no, when you do kanang normal nga pagpasa lang og plema, you would appreciate there that it was not TB. Dili nimo makita tong mga pink nga para sa TB, no, your acid fast bacilli. Usually what you are going to appreciate are the eggs of the long fluke. Okay? So you need to remember na iba yung mukha ng long flukes na ito. Okay? So again, long flukes diagnosis of Paragonimiasis, no? Radiograph and aid in diagnosis. Definitive diagnosis is based on the finding of ova in the sputum. Okay? And the treatment again is praziquantel. Okay? So praziquantel yan. Okay? Praziquantel ulit. No? Davao, Cotabato, Basilan. Imagine? No? So maraming mga cases dito sa Mindanao ng lung flukes na yan. Okay? So let's talk about the intestinal flukes. No, we are already halfway of our lecture, so just give me more time, okay, for me to continue this lecture. So intestinal flukes, you have the Buschke, no? That's the giant intestinal fluke of man, and it is the parasite of the intestines of humans and the pigs. The mode of transmission is by ingestion of encysted Metacercaria on, take note, aquatic plants. Okay, di ba? Grabe na talaga, Dok. Grabe na talaga. No, hindi na ako makakain ng crabs, hindi na din ako makakain ng pork at beef. Grabe na. Tapos, yung pati naman ng mga kangkong, mga aquatic plants, hindi na rin ako makakain. Grabe na talaga, Dok. Yes. No, kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, nung natapos ko tong medtech na to, grabe yung tawag dyan, no? Grabe ang pagiging OC ko sa pagkain kasi shit, no? Ang daming parasite at bacteria na pwede nating makuha sa paligid. So that's why you need to be very careful of what you eat because no? Eventually magkakaroon ka talaga ng problema at sakit, no? If hindi mo iiwasan yung mga ganitong bagay-bagay. Pero sometimes sabi ko nga, di ba, kung meant to be ka mabito, kaya meant to be ka mabito. Okay? No? So again, it's elongated, it's oval, no? Covered with spines, it has no cephalic cone, and it has unbranched intestina ceca. Okay? So as you can see, no, if you would appreciate, okay, kaning sa punta, that is the unbranched intestina ceca. Okay? So the life cycle, again, dapat makakain ka ng aquatic plants. And again, kailangan mo ng involvement ng snail. Okay? Fascioliosis, no? Usually magkakaroon ka ng traumatic injury sa intestine mo because of inflammation and ulceration. It could also cause obstruction, no? And it is sometimes toxic due to worm metabolites by the host. Okay? So sometimes makikita natin to siya sa stool. Stool din naman siya. Okay? Pero majority of cases, we misdiagnose this as a case of fasciola infection because it looks like a fasciola. Now remember that this is not fasciola, this is fasciolopsis. No, lopsis. Iba yung lopsis sa fasciola. Okay? Yung fasciola hepatica, that's the liver fluke. Okay? The intestinal fluke. Okay? So pag sinabi mo namang Fasciolopsis buschke, you are talking about the intestinal fluke. Okay? So detection of eggs, again, it resembles the fasciola eggs. Again, the treatment is praziquantel. And ladies and gentlemen, sa Pilipinas na naman natin siya makikita. Okay? Yan. So sometimes Southeast Asia, China, Korea, India, no? In the Philippines has not been demonstrated. Pero meron ng mga cases, no? Are probably imported, yes. No? Meron ng mga cases dito sa Philippines, pero usually makikita natin yun sila na nagtatrabaho sometimes in China and Korea. Okay, pero meron na actually nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga cases dito, no? Sometimes nga kaya nga tinatanggal nila yung mga kangkong dyan sa mga gilid-gilid because there are already cases of Fasciolopsis buschke. Okay, now let's talk about the Echinostoma illocanum, no? It's also known as the Garrison's fluke. Iba yung Garrison talaga, ha? Iba din yun siya na parasite, no? Iba din yung Garrison's fluke. Hindi dili ibig sabihin nga na nakabutang nga Garrison's fluke katong R. garrisoni ang inyong ang inyong i-answer, no? Dili, that's Echinostoma illocanum. Kaya siya tinatawag na illocanum because the first case was seen in Ilocos. Okay? Hindi Ilocano yung first, in Ilocos. Okay? So Echinostoma illocanum and Artificialistonum malayanum. Okay, iba-iba yan sila. No? So yung adult has a reddish gray, so medyo distinct yung mukha nito. And I want you to take note of that. No? So it has a horse-shaped color. no? And usually it's has simple intestinal ceca. Okay? No, very unique, no? Very unique yung mukha. Okay? So yung ova niya, no, it is straw colored, mukhang Fasciola and Fasciolopsis busci siya. Okay? Take note of the different intermediate host, baka lalabas sa examination. Kung hindi man lalabas sa lecture, it might be coming out in the laboratory. Okay? No, yan, suso. Very typical ng suso nga ginakaon nato, no? Ang pwede nato makuha nga exam, nga disease, grabe. Exam na ginakong ginauna, no? Ang makuha nato nga sakit niya would be your Echinostoma Echinostoma ilocano. Okay? So kung makakaon kag suso, and the suso's scientific name is Pilelozonica or kuhol, no? You eventually get Echinostoma ilocano. Okay? So sometimes the man gets infected when the Metacercariae and the second intermediate host are ingested, and eventually it will lead to diarrhea, no, abdominal pain, and eventually sometimes general intoxication. So again, it's the detection of eggs in the stool. Okay, the treatment again is praziquantel. Yung heterophids naman, no, there are many species live in the intestine of the fish-eating host. So, pangalan yan is the heterophids. Okay? Okay, so you are going to study the different hosts, the different parasites, no, the heterophid group, no, the Heterophis heterophis or Heterophyes heterophyes, the Met-Yokogawai, no, the Aplorchis species. Okay, so mode of transmission again is ingestion by Metacercariae. Actually, paulit-ulit na lang, no, yung paulit-ulit na lang tong ating mga discussion about eating Cercaria. So ang aaralin nyo actually dito is saan mo makukuha. Okay, kasi yun yung iba-iba no, yun yung iba-iba sa kanila kung ano yung host na involved. Okay, so heterophyes, no, I want you to identify that specific picture. It is very unique, no? Mukha siyang Ilocanum din tingnan. Okay, the ova is cute, no? It looks like Clonorchis actually, but it's cute. Okay, so no abopercular protuberance like that of Clonorchis sinensis ovum. So tatanggalin mo lang yung protuberance. Again, it's heterophids na, and it has a unique life cycle, so you need to study that one. Okay, so the manifestations, again, inflammation, peptic ulcer, no, so gurgling abdomen. Okay, just like your Capillaria philippinensis. Again, it's Keto-Katz method, no? Keto-Katz talaga kapag pinag-uusapan yung trematodes, Keto-Katz, no, except your lung fluke, syempre sputum yun siya. And again, it's praziquantel. So saan natin makikita to? Usually in saan? Yan, no, Philippines din. Okay? So malapit na tayo matapos, no? Liver flukes. Again, we have the Fasciola hepatica and the Fasciola gigantica, no? So iba-iba 'yon. We have the sheep liver fluke or the temperate liver fluke. Yung isa naman is the giant liver fluke or the tropical liver fluke. So again, this one is makikita mo if makakain ka ng aquatic plants. Okay?
Okay. So again, no, the mode of transmission is by ingestion of Metacercaria, usually in the aquatic plants. So what you need to study here in Fasciola species is that yung naka-table doon sa reviewer ninyo, you need to identify the specific scientific name, no, of that aquatic plant, okay, or the kangkong, so that when the examination comes, if the scientific name will be asked to you, you know the answer. Okay, So again, the adult worm of Fasciola hepatica is very distinct, no? It has a large, broad, flat body. No, usually yung anterior end niya forms a prominent cephalic cone. No? Very, very beautiful. Parang ice cream cone yung ulo niya. No? So it has a small oral and ventral sucker, and remember that it has a long and highly branched intestinal ceca. So again, it has more lanceolate. It has less developed shoulder, and it has larger ventral sucker, yung adult worm. So as you can see, no, very distinct yung ventral sucker. This is the um, um, sucker din to. Okay? So this is your ventral sucker and your, sorry, medyo lag yung, medyo naglalag sa akin yung pointer, but you are going to appreciate there the suckers. Okay? So in comparison, the Fasciola hepatica is a little bit smaller than your gigantica. Okay, kaya nga tinatawag siyang gigantica because it's a little bit larger compared to your other fasciola. Okay, so again, the first intermediate host is the Limnaea philippinensis, or that's the again, that's a snail. And the second intermediate host would be your watercress, or it could be a gas. Okay. So Fasciola hepatica, again, the ova is large. Again, it's operculated and it is bile stained because sometimes it goes with your bile. Okay, and the ova of gigantica is a little bit larger as compared to your Fasciola hepatica. So because of this similarity, sometimes we just tend to say it's Fasciola ova. No, hindi na natin siniseparate or hindi na natin na-identify if that is a Fasciola gigantica or a Fasciola hepatica. So again, yan. So here, as you can see, no, you need to identify, no, ano yung diagnostic stage and what would be the infective stage. Okay, so again, the infective stage would be the metacercaria that you are going to take, no. That is again in comparison with the cercaria, no, na may bifid tail in your schistosoma. Yan lang yung pinagkaiba nila, no. Kaya unique yung cercaria because unique yung cercaria ng schistosoma because it has a bifid tail compared to your other cercaria of the different trematodes na isa lang yung tail. Okay, and you need to study also what usually develops in the snail. No, remember, after miracidia, it will become a sporocyst, it will become aridae, and eventually it will become cercaria. Okay, so you need to study the life cycle and you need to study yung mga pagkakasunod-sunod because sometimes it comes out in my exam and in the board exam. Okay, so pathogenesis, again, it might present with, since it's a liver fluke, it might present with liver manifestations na sometimes it's asymptomatic, sometimes naman hindi mo naman mababantayan, no? So it usually is a very broad kind of manifestation, no, yung fascioliasis. So the serologic test, usually it's low specificity because of cross-reactivity with antigens of other parasites. The RFLP, no, the fragmented polymorphism, hindi siya ganun ka-common here in the Philippines. So, saan tayo usually na-focus? In microscopy. Treatment for this, no, one of the most unique treatment, no, one of the star kaayo would be triclabendazole because the rest of the trematodes, you can treat them with praziquantel, but this one you're going to treat it with triclabendazole. Okay, so again, in the Philippines, the dominant species is Fasciola gigantica. It usually affects carabaos, no, the water buffaloes, and your cattle. So maliit lang naman yung mga reported locally, no. So Clonorchis sinensis, I think we're almost done, no, 11 slides left. No? So the first intermediate host would be the Bulimus fuchsiana. No, this is known as the Chinese liver fluke and the Oriental liver fluke. So all you have to follow is the Chinese liver fluke, no, the Clonorchis sinensis. And the second intermediate host for this is another one. It's a fish. Okay, di ba sa kanina, we have the different, no? Mayroon kang watercress, mayroon kang snail den, etc., etc. But this one is a fish, no? Yung second intermediate host. So when you are going to study trematodes and cestodes, you really need to make your own notes. And you are going to make a very good table differentiating the different parasites, because you will be confused, no, if you are going to study the PowerPoint tapos wala kang tabulated form. You are going to have difficulty answering the exam because you cannot differentiate it. You cannot differentiate them. Okay, so what you are going to do, you try to upload this PowerPoint presentation, no, or the book, no, the pages in the book in ChatGPT or Gemini. Then you try, no, to enter the prompt, no, make a tabulated form differentiating the different trematodes according to, no, to the other name, to the first intermediate host, second intermediate host, no. You need to use the internet so that you would easily take advantage of studying. Okay, so the adult worm, it's narrow, it's oblong, it's flatworm, no? The oral sucker is slightly larger than the ventral sucker. So medyo mas malaki yung bunganga sa taas kaysa sa harap, no? So again, no, take note, the lifespan is can range 20 to 30 years, and it has blind intestinal ceca. They are simple and they may extend to the caudal region. So yung ova niya, it's very unique because it's flash shape, and again, it has a terminal spine. That's why sometimes para mabantayan nato, this would look like a Japonicum, no? It has a lateral knob, no? Pero terminal spine, iba yung terminal spine kasi ng hematobium eh. No? Mas madali siyang matandaan yung parang knob niya if parang Japonicum. Okay, so it looks like an electric bulb, no, and sometimes, no, it contains a miracidium when oviposited. So yung pinaka unique feature dito, if I don't know if you could see, no, parang meron siyang kalo-kalo, no, nasa kalo-kalo. So that is usually Clonorchis sinensis. So again, the fish, usually kapag makain mo yung fish na hindi luto, no, yun, doon ka magkakaroon ng infection. Okay? So sometimes, no, it would manifest as chills with fevers, no. In chronic stages, doon ka na, nagkakaroon ka na ng cirrhosis, no, problem with your liver, and kapag may cirrhosis na, there will always be already portal hypertension. So detection of parasite egg in the stool, no. So we usually use immunoassay like ELISA and EIA, no, or PCR in order for us to differentiate, kasi magkakamukha silang tatlo, yung Clonorchis, yung Opistorchis, and yung Heterophytes. Okay, so again, the treatment is praziquantel. Uulitin ko, ang unique lang sa treatment sa kanila would be your fasciola hepatica, which is triclabendazole. Lahat ng sasagot mo sa treatment kapag trematodes yung pinag-uusapan, praziquantel. Kapag cestodes naman, no, iba naman yung gamot doon. Kapag nematode, iba din yung mga normal na gamot doon. Okay, so you need to familiarize, para mas madali yung masagot yung exam. So transmission is due to consumption of raw undercooked fish and salted and dried fish harboring the metacerca. Okay, diba? Sabi ko na nga ba no, even bulad can cause, no, an infection. Okay, no, salted and dried fish, no, abi ni mo gadok mo bulad na lang ko dok, siguro patay naman tong bitok atong medyo salty nga mga pagkaon, no, makaka-infection ka pa rin, no. That's Clonorchis sinensis. Okay, so we are almost done, no. Pancreatic fluke, ito parang hindi naman siya common sa Philippines, This is Erythema pancreaticum. So stout worm with ruffled margins. Usually the oral sucker is larger than the ventral sucker. So I don't know if this is already present in your book, but rest assured lalabas to siya sa, sometimes lalabas to siya sa exam. Okay? So what you're going to study in the lecture and in the laboratory is both the PowerPoint presentations that I have sent to you, also the videos that I am giving you, and the book, the two books, which is both the yung sa taas, no? Para mas madali mong ma-identify. Okay? So the first intermediate host is the Macroclamis indica. No, mukha siyang coal pero iba yan siya. And the second intermediate host naman is the ant. Okay? So, di ba, yung sabi ko sa inyo, no? Even ants could cause an infection, no? Or can cause bitok, and that would be the Erythrema pancreaticum. Okay? The Technomyrmex diterquins. Di ba? Dami mo na i-memorize na scientific name, baka lalabas sa exam. Again, Technomyrmex diterquins, that's the second intermediate host for Erythrema pancreaticum. So the ova is operculated. It is thick-shelled and dark brown in color, and usually it's embryonated when laid. Okay? So I think that's the last slide. So for my med students who are listening to this lecture, rest assured that your examination for your long test will include pictures also. It might be identification, so you need to study the pictures, you need to study the pictures in the internet. For my paramed students in North Valley, I wanted you to memorize everything from this PowerPoint presentation. Kung hindi man lalabas to sa lecture, it might come out in the laboratory, no? Yung mga pictures doon, siguradong lalabas yan sa laboratory. Okay? So again, our laboratory will be projection examination, so it might be a 20 slide long for all in all 100 points. Okay? So again, thank you for listening for the 47 minutes of our lecture, and good evening or good morning kung anong oras mo ito pinanood.